I came home one evening, tired from a long shift at work, only to be met with the gut-punch sight of my meticulously arranged gaming collection missing from the living room shelves. The consoles, the games, the collectibles all gone. For a moment, I thought I'd been robbed. My heart was pounding in my chest as I looked around frantically. "Laura!" I yelled, storming into the bedroom. She was lying on the bed, scrolling through her phone without a care in the world. "Oh, hey," she said casually, glancing up at me. "Where the hell is my gaming collection?" She blinked at me like I was speaking a foreign language. "Oh, that? I gave it to Jake. He really needed a pick-me-up, and you don't even use that stuff anymore." My blood ran cold. "You gave my collection to Jake? Without asking me?" She frowned like I was the unreasonable one. "Relax. It's just some old games. Jake's been feeling really down lately, and I thought it would cheer him up. He'll actually use it. Unlike you." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That collection wasn't just some random junk. It was years of effort, passion, and dedication. Limited edition consoles, rare games, and hard-to-find items that I'd poured time and money into collecting. "You had no right," I said, my voice rising. "None of that is yours to give away." "Jesus, calm down. It's not a big deal," she snapped. "Why are you acting like this over some stupid video games?" I was livid. "It's not about the games. It's about respect. That collection meant something to me, and you didn't even bother to ask. You just gave it away like it was garbage." She rolled her eyes. "You're being ridiculous. Jake's family, and family helps each other out. Maybe you should try it sometime instead of obsessing over stuff no one else cares about." I didn't respond. There was no point arguing with someone who didn't care to understand. Instead, I grabbed my car keys and stormed out the door. Jake lived about 20 minutes away in a dingy little apartment he shared with a couple of equally lazy friends. When I knocked on the door, he answered with a smug grin, like he'd been expecting me. "Hey, man," he said, leaning against the doorframe. "What's up?" "You know what's up," I said coldly. "I'm here to get my stuff." He raised an eyebrow. "Oh, what stuff?" "Laura gave it to me." "Yeah, and Laura had no right to give it to you. That collection is mine, and I'm taking it back. Now." Jake laughed, crossing his arms. "Dude, chill. She said you didn't want it anymore. And honestly, you should have seen my friends' faces when I hooked up that SNES Classic. It's in good hands, trust me." I shoved past him into the apartment. There it was, my collection scattered haphazardly across the living room. Consoles were hooked up to his TV with wires running everywhere, and my rare games were sitting on the floor like they were cheap DVDs. "Pack it up," I said, pointing at my stuff. "Whoa, whoa," Jake said, holding up his hands. "You can't just barge in here and take this back. It's mine now. Laura gave it to me." "No," I said, glaring at him. "It's mine. I paid for every single item here, and I've got the receipts to prove it. So either you pack it up, or I will." Jake's smirk disappeared, replaced by an angry scowl. "You're really going to be this petty? It's just a bunch of games. Grow up, dude." I ignored him and started gathering my things. As I unplugged my PS4, he grabbed my arm. "Hey, I'm serious, man. You can't take this." I yanked my arm away. "Touch me again, and I'll call the cops." Jake backed off, grumbling under his breath. "You're such a selfish prick. No wonder Laura's fed up with you." I didn't respond. I wasn't there to argue. I was there to take back what was mine. By the time I was done loading everything into my car, Jake was sulking on the couch, muttering insults. I left without another word. When I got home, Laura was waiting for me, her arms crossed and her face twisted. In anger. "Are you kidding me?" she yelled as soon as I walked through the door. "You went to Jake's place and took everything back?" "Damn right I did," I said, setting a box down on the floor. "You had no right to give it away in the first place." She threw her hands up in frustration. "Why can't you just let this go? Jake needed it more than you did." "That's not the point." I snapped. "This isn't about who needs it more. It's about the fact that you gave away something that wasn't yours to give." She scoffed. "God, you're so selfish. All you care about is your stupid collection. What about Jake? What about helping family?" I stared at her, incredulous. "You think I'm selfish? You think I'm the problem here? Laura, this isn't about family. It's about you disrespecting me and my boundaries. If you actually cared about this relationship, you wouldn't have done something so messed up. Her expression shifted, her anger replaced by something colder. If you're going to make such a big deal out of this, then maybe we shouldn't be together. For a moment, I just stood there, staring at her. Then I took a deep breath and said, maybe we shouldn't. Her eyes widened, like she hadn't expected me to actually agree. You're really going to throw this all away over some stupid games? No, I said quietly. You already threw it away when you decided my feelings didn't matter. Laura moved out a few days later, but Jake wasn't done being a pain in the ass. First, he started spreading lies, telling anyone who would listen that I'd stolen the collection from him. Laura backed him up, saying I was an obsessive man-child who didn't care about family. At first, I ignored it, but when mutual friends started asking me about it, I decided to set the record straight. I posted a photo of my collection on social media, along with a simple caption, "Respect and boundaries matter." For those who know the full story, you know why this is where it belongs. It wasn't long before people who knew Jake and Laura chimed in, shutting down their lies. The smear campaign fizzled out quickly, and neither of them tried to contact me again. A week later, Jake showed up at my apartment uninvited. I opened the door, and there he was holding a duffel bag. "What do you want?" I asked, already annoyed. "Look, man," he said, forcing a grin. "I was thinking maybe we could work something out. Like, maybe I could borrow a couple of the consoles? Just for a little while." I shook my head. "Not happening." "Come on," he whined. "You've got so much, and I barely have anything. It's not like you even play half of it." I stepped forward, blocking the doorway. "Jake, get off my property before I call the cops. And don't come back." His smile disappeared, replaced by a sneer. "You're such a selfish asshole. No wonder Laura dumped you." "She didn't dump me," I said, staring him down. "I dumped her. Now get out." He glared at me for a moment before turning and stomping down the hall. I locked the door behind him. The final straw came a few days later when Jake tried to break into my apartment. I wasn't home at the time, but my neighbor saw him trying to pick the lock and scared him off. That was it for me. I filed a police report, documenting everything. Laura's involvement, Jake's lies, the attempted theft, and now the attempted break-in. I didn't press charges, but I wanted a record just in case. When Jake found out, he finally backed off. I didn't hear from him or Laura again after that. Now, my collection is back where it belongs, and my life is much quieter without Laura and Jake in it. Losing a relationship sucks, but sometimes you have to let go of toxic people to make room for the things and the peace you truly value. And as I sit down to play one of my favorite games, I realize something. I didn't just take back my collection. I took back control of my life.